Hi, I'm Kristen Amdahl. I'm a creative entrepreneur embracing every aspect of life with artistic intention. Join me as I share the way I live and all the tips and tricks along the way. Allow me to inspire you to do the same. Please like, share, or comment on my videos. I'd love to hear from you. And if you subscribe to my channel, you'll be first to know when there's something new. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make this really beautiful three-dimensional flower. See how these petals are actually sitting above the petals behind it? It's a really simple technique, and I'm going to show you how to do it right now. You're going to need an H or 5mm crochet hook and some worsted weight yarn. I'm using Be So Bold, which is my hand-painted worsted weight yarn. You want to use a hook and a yarn that's complementary to each other. For example, an H or 5mm is great with worsted weight. You just want to adjust your hook size accordingly with whatever type of yarn you feel comfortable trying a new technique with. We're going to tie the yarn onto the crochet hook. You can use a slip knot if you prefer. I prefer tying a knot onto it. We're going to start with a chain 5. Okay, then we're going to slip stitch to the 5th chain from the hook to create a ring. Now, we're going to be working into the actual ring, not into the chains, but into the actual ring. So we're going to start with a chain 3, and then the pattern is going to say to double crochet into the ring, so into that big hole that we created by joining the chain to itself. So we're going to insert a yarn over your hook, insert into the ring, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's double crochet. Chain 3, and then we're going to slip stitch into the same ring. So we're going to insert our hook into the ring, yarn over, and pull through the ring and the loop on our hook. Slip stitch. We're going to repeat that 6 times around. So we're going to chain 3, double crochet in the ring, chain 3, and slip stitch in the ring. Do that again, chain 3, double crochet in the ring, chain 3, and slip stitch in the ring. Chain 3, double crochet in the ring, chain 3, and slip stitch in the ring. If you notice, I'm working around the tail with the and the ring at the same time. It's just going to eliminate the need to weave in that end at the end. It's totally optional. You can do it either way. It just saves me a step at the end. So we've got 4 petals so far, so we're going to do 2 more times. Chain 3, double crochet in the ring, chain 3, and slip stitch in the ring. Chain 3, double crochet in the ring, chain 3, and slip stitch in the ring. I'm going to set the work down so you can see it now, and you can see that we have our 6 little petals, and I'll look at it side by side with this one. So we've got these petals done. Now we need to create a base for working behind them, and I'll show you how we do that on the next round. Grab our yarn, tighten that loop back onto our hook. Okay, so now we're going to chain 4. And now working behind the petal we just worked, we're going to work into that slip stitch that we did at the end of each petal. You chain 4, slip stitch into the slip stitch, working behind the petal of the previous round, which means we've got a chain 4 space behind the petals of round 1. I'll show you that again, chain 4. Now working behind the petal, see, we're going to keep that chain 4 space behind the petal of round 1, and then we're going to slip stitch into the slip stitch from the previous round. You want to make sure that chain 4 space stays behind the petal. And that's it. So we'll repeat that around, just making sure we keep those chain 4 spaces behind the petals. And slip stitch into the slip stitch. If you haven't slip stitched into a slip stitch before, you might want to take a little time to get used to it. Sometimes they're a little tighter than regular stitches, so you may have to push a little harder, but you'll get the hang of it. Just like with anything else you learn. Chain 4, slip stitch into the slip stitch, skipping the petal and making sure your chain stays behind it, and then chain 4, and then we've come now to the beginning of the round. We'll slip stitch into that slip stitch. So now what we have is 6 chain 4 spaces behind our petal. So that's the back side of the work. You see the chain 4 spaces? We turn back to the front side of our work and we see our petals. So now working behind our petals and into those chain 4 spaces, you want to pull the petal up to get it out of the way, slip stitch into the first chain 4 space. We're going to chain 3, and we're going to work 3 double crochets into this chain 4 space. 1, 2, 3, chain 3, and slip stitch into the same chain 4 space. First petal's done. We're now going to flip the next petal forward so we see the chain 4 space behind it, slip stitch into the next chain 4 space, chain 3, 3 double crochets into the same chain 4 space, chain 3, and slip stitch into the same chain 4 space. And that's it. That's what we're going to do all the way around. So slip stitch into the next chain 4 space, then into that same space we're going to chain 3, 3 doubles, chain 3, and slip stitch. Then we'll move to our next chain 4 space, slip stitch, chain 3, 3 doubles, chain 3, slip stitch. Working in our next chain 4 space, we're going to slip stitch, chain 3, 3 doubles, chain 3, and slip stitch. Working in our next chain 4 space, slip stitch, chain 3, 3 double crochets, chain 3, and slip stitch. Now just to be nice and tight and secure, I'm going to slip stitch over to the next petal as well before I grab my scissors and fasten off. So now we'll set down our flower, and you can see we've got our petals from round 1 in the front, and then our petals from round 3 in the back for our 3-dimensional simple flower. The line-by-line instructions are on my blog. The link to that is below.